Alright, what's going on? This is Risk of Rain 2. I'm just going to do a quick run to show a buddy of mine what the game's about. So if you somehow stumble across this and you're not that guy, hope you enjoyed anyway. So Risk of Rain 2, it's a third-person shooter roguelite made by Hoppo Studios. The first game was published by Chucklefish. I'm not sure about this one. As you can see, I don't have too much experience with this. I only have unlocked 3 characters. We've got Commando, he's a pretty generic boy. I've got Multi, he's a little less generic, he's very slow, but he's got high DPS. I've got Huntress, and she's a speedy girl that is a glass cannon. I'm gonna play as the Commando just because, I don't know, I'm boring. Let's get into it. So you'll start off every single one in this little drop pod. And we'll get started. So, the idea, Risk of Rain has a few interesting ideas. So if you look in the top left corner, you'll see, I'll start off with 15 gold and 11 lunar coins. Lunar coins are permanent items you'll carry between games that can get you interesting, unique items. The goal of Risk of Rain 2 is to, essentially, somewhere in the level, it'll spawn randomly somewhere. I'm not quite sure where it is. Will be a teleporter. If I get to that teleporter, I can essentially activate a boss sequence. And that boss sequence will, if I survive the fight with the boss and the mobs, I can teleport to the next level. Before I do that, I'll want to probably optimally pick up a few items. So for instance, I just got Tough Times, and that is just an item that'll make it so I have a small chance of ignoring damage if I take some. The gimmick of the game, however, is if you look at the top right-hand corner, I'm on a time limit. The longer I take to get through the level, the harder it becomes. And that is not just this level, that is my entire run. So the longer you take, it's a balance between getting enough items that like you can actually beat the game and, you know, not getting eventually overwhelmed by mobs. So I'm gonna just explain some more mechanics. Right now, I'm just gonna put Topaz brooch. That'll give me a shield every time I kill an enemy. The Commando is our generic guy. He's got a generic pea shooter. His first active is a piercing shot that'll pierce all enemies in a line. He's got a little combat roll that helps him avoid damage. And his final ability is going to be suppressive fire, so I can shoot rapidly for a second there, and it'll stun anything it hits, which is nice to help you know. If a big enemy is winding up to deal some big damage, you can stun him out of it, or if you're about to get overrun by a mob, you can kind of buy yourself some breathing space. So, if you can see to my left right now, there's all those red sparkles in the distance. The red sparkles indicate that is where the teleporter is, the level exit. So I could go and activate that right now and just get out of this level. It's not highly recommended because all I have right now is the brooch and the teddy bear, Tough Times. So those are 2 pretty strong defensive items, but my DPS, as you can see, is still pretty low. So I'm going to see what I can do. Pick up a few more items to try to improve that. Not bad. Go. So yeah, every chest costs 25 gold, and up there we go. And it just has a random. Everyone has one random item inside, and it'll just, you know, give you a small buff. As you can see at first, the gameplay is not too tough. I'm still on easy. I'm playing on the medium difficulty setting. So it's still pretty manageable, but you'll see by the time I get to like the 2nd or 3rd level, and I'm on, if I don't go move fast enough, if I'm on like impossible, it's gonna get pretty hectic. So these red canisters, they'll always give you equipment, and that is, so for instance, this one will give me it's actually, I've never seen this one before. It'll just give me a heal over time. I hit a triangle. So that's pretty nice. So the teleport was over there, but like I said, not quite happy with my items real fast, so I'm going to take the gamble of spending a little bit more time in the level to try and pick up some more offensive capabilities. Just like, for instance, you see that he lines up his big shot, and I don't want to get hit by it, so I'll use my suppressive fire to stun him out of it. Another thing I really like about this game is that every item you pick up, you can actually see on your character. You can see my little gnarled woodhead dude just running around me. The stinky bomb I picked up earlier, you can see that on my left thigh. And if I turn around, you can't, it's hard to see, but I'm actually wearing the glasses I picked up. So, you know, it's a nice little detail that everything you pick up actually ends up on your character. These are elite enemies, and as you can see, they just take a little bit more punishment to get rid of, but, you know, as a result, you get more experience and gold out of them. And if you look at the bottom left, you can see my level, and that's a direct result experience. And that's, you know, just generic. The more you, the more experience you get, the harder you hit, the more health you have. You know, nothing really mind-blowing. I would say that Risk of Rain isn't a game that's necessarily about having the best new ideas. It's more about how well it implements them. The shooting's really crisp. Has nice variety. Please go away. All right. I'm feeling a little bit more confident now about my loadout. I've gotten at least. I got the glasses and the sticky bombs, which is going to help my DPS at least a little bit. So I think I might be right about ready to start the teleporter event. I might hop up there just real fast to see if there's one or two more items I can get, but like I said, the longer you faff about, the game just gets exponentially harder, so you really just can't afford to, you know, rest on your laurels. And that's what the developers really wanted. The name Risk of Rain comes from the fact that they wanted you to feel like there's always something like impending bad things on your future. So that's how they do it, is they make the player always feel like they're on a time limit. And yeah, activate the event. So when I activate the event, you'll see that a boss is going to spawn. Boss is random, but it's usually a giant monster, titan, which is the one I got here, or it's going to be like a giant electric octopus. I'll probably finish this event. This isn't the toughest event in the world, so it should be pretty good. Ow. I say just before I take the void damage. So yeah, this game is a lot about just kiting in your ability to manage a mob positioning. Talk a big game about surviving how easy the first event is. Now here I am, with a million mobs all over the place. So yeah, just now already you can probably start to assume like this is still easy. So once it starts getting up to like medium, hard, and possible, it's gonna get pretty hectic. I want to say that the final difficulty setting in the game is just ha 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 or something along those lines. Oh, Wisp, I love it. The Lunar Token, like I said, those are the last between missions. They just give me you can buy interesting items with them. Let's call them interesting. I don't know if I'll ever necessarily call them good. So I just picked up Will-O-Wisp. That's one of my favorite items, causes enemies to explode when they die. And so like there's items like that, gasoline canisters, just essentially items that make mobs easier to deal with, or my favorite types of items. Yes, there you can see the glasses. Any gold you have over at the end of the level, you spend at the teleporter, and it just gives you experience. So you always start every level with every level after the first at least with 0 gold. So you can't just farm gold in one level, bring it to the next. Whatever level you do after the first is also randomized. This is a pretty standard one. I almost always get this one, but there's some variety in the levels to play after the first. Alright. Teleporter's over here. It's a little early to be hitting it. Oh, also, so like, you saw that the chests in the first zone cost 25, and now they're cost 59. That's just, you know, the enemies give, it's just, you know, as you spend that time in the game, every level upgrades from cost more. But enemies, you know, also give you more gold, so nothing crazy. So, like I said, I don't think Risk of Rain is necessarily a game that rests on having the most interesting new ideas. It's just about implementing some pretty standard ones really well. That's what I get. Yep, hell yeah, castling. Another thing to note, it hasn't happened yet, but you can get stacks of the same item. So for instance, I can get stacks of the glasses. That'll stack my crit chance. What do we have here? That's really my favorite part of this. Sneak up on you. You're not looking. So here's the 3D printer. Essentially, I can sacrifice one of my items to get that slug item. The slug item. Make it so I deal AoE electric damage when I get low health. I'm not a huge fan of that. I would prefer to just not getting it low health, but the other reason I'm not a huge fan of it is that you can't control what item you sacrifice to get it. So I could, for instance, use my glasses, which would significantly cut into my DPS.